football, fantasy football, fantasy. If you like football, then you like fantasy. Fantasy football, fantasy.
That's right. It's that time again. Here they come on the ones and twos.
Whoa.
We're
It's
back.
your boys.
We're back.
It's your boys.
Oh my God. What a week. What a great week. Oh my God. We got a David Lee Roth soundboard. We're good to go.
It takes like 2 seconds for every song to load, so let me know ahead of time when you're going to say something funny.
That's because it's so good. It's so good. It takes a little bit.
Yeah. Hang on.
Tell you all about it.
I'll tell you all about it, baby.
Tell you all about it. Let me tell you about it.
Oh, man. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Hello.
It's the fantasy football podcast live show. I'm your co-host, Luke Brown. With me, as always, is
Josh Henderson.
Josh Henderson of Continue fame and the M-Class podcast fame and crackling the spinal cord fame.
Yep, it's a chiropractor podcast I do.
This guy.
Break it into chiropractic.
Busiest guy in the world.
That's right.
And I'm glad he took the time to hang out with me this Wednesday night to talk fantasy football.
Oh man, I'm into it again. This is my beginning of the year. I'm into it phase. I'm ready. Yeah.
Is that because you snuck out a huge win in our Internet Superstars League?
I snuck out, meaning I was destined to win. Wasn't going to lose. Nothing could stop me. Only won because Mike didn't take out Odell Beckham Jr. Destined to win.
So you win's a win.
Yeah, I won. That's all that matters. Yeah.
It's a win.
Uh-huh.
You did it.
I did it. I beat him.
Against all odds. Against Yahoo's odds. Against fearful odds. Against Vegas odds.
Yeah, they were betting on this one.
You did it, though.
I did it.
And we're both 1-0 in that league. I'm 0-1 in my other league because I took a beating.
I am also 0-1 in my other league. I got swamped. I got destroyed.
That is some fearful symmetry right there, my friend.
It's weird. It's weird symmetry.
We got rocked and rolled. But our football's back. How you feeling now that it's real?
I'm so glad it's back and I don't have to read just terrible articles about football and what might happen soon, and preseason football is terrible. So I'm glad it's back. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. I'm even glad Thursday Night Football's back. I'm excited for tomorrow's game. I don't know what it is, but I'm ready to go. Who's playing tomorrow? I don't know.
Who is playing tomorrow? I want to say Houston.
I might be right. I'm looking it up.
And someone.
They are playing someone if it's Houston.
I want to say
where's the
Bungles.
I can't find it. What's going on here?
I think it is Houston and the Bengals, and I can't wait to see those Color Rush unis back, baby.
Oh, is that start tomorrow?
Yeah, I hope it's in Cincinnati so we get that funky orange.
Orange on orange, yeah. That would be sweet.
That'll look good. Wait, ready?
Okay. We're getting there. There it is. What is going on with your computer? It's the worst. It's the worst.
I think it's just this soundboard.
No, Cario.
I love you, Cario.
Let's see if I can find a better one.
Oh my God. You're right. It's
better David Lee Roth. Okay.
You're right. You got it. Oh, now everyone's texting me because now's the time to do that.
That's how you do it.
Wait till I'm doing something, then text me. Great. Just great.
David Lee Roth.
They knew we were rocking that soundboard. They got excited. They needed to text me about it.
Yeah, you need a Flash update? Come on, what am I?
Yeah, screw that. That's why your Flash.
2012?
Your Flash is probably old.
Oh, it is old. Mac never updates their Flashes.
No, they do not. They did not.
Mac hates Flash, but I got this other one, so this'll be fine for today. We'll get a better one.
That was the most important. We need a producer to go get us some David Lee Roth things.
Right, because as David Lee Roth said,
Ain't got nobody.
to produce this show.
To produce this show.
Oh man. So unfortunately, I did not get to see a lot of week 1 football this week.
Yeah, you were away.
I was at HasCon, but I made it home in time to see Sunday Night Football, which was awful.
It was terrible. It was
the Giants are probably the worst team in the NFL, not named the Bengals, the Colts.
Yeah, the Colts. Oh, God.
Who did Baltimore beat? Oh, the Bengals. They're so bad I had to name them
twice. The Bengals.
But I did hear tell on the radio machine the Eagles won.
They did. It was a good game.
Redskins in Washington. I'm sorry. We beat the Washington football team.
Yeah, the Washington DC team.
Yes. Oh, man. Let me tell you something about the drive home from Rhode Island.
Yeah, I've done it.
Did you know that on that entire ride during football season, like no radio station on AM or FM has football unless it's the Patriots, but the Patriots played on Thursday. So the whole ride home, I was scanning AM and FM radio stations, and all 5 sports stations I found had the same baseball games on.
The Yankees or the Mets? No,
it was all Yankees and Sox.
Yeah, I hear a lot of Yankees when I go up there because Connecticut is like New York, right? They're like, we're just like another part of New York.
That's the real 5th borough, not Philadelphia.
Yeah. And so I usually listen to Hartford, The Whale, the radio station The Whale when I go up there, but they play music. So they play Boston and like REO Speedwag.
I'm into it. So it's basically like the northeastern version of WZZO.
ZZO, yes.
Who, for those of you who don't know, is a wonderful radio station where Josh and I grew up that has played the same music since we were children.
Yep. And back when it was Z95.
I bet you I could travel back in time with a playlist they played today, minus like Disturbed and whatever. And it would be identical to one they played on this date in like 1983.
Yep. Yep. Great radio station. Sponsor us.
I'll tell you all about it.
Dave knows. Dave knows.
Oh, Dave knows because they play Dave. They love Dave.
They do love Dave.
They love Dave. But the Eagles won. The Giants lost.
Thank God.
The Washington football team lost. So atop the NFC East sit the Eagles and
then the Cowboys.
And everybody else is at the bottom.
Yep. The Giants looked really, really bad. Really, really bad. Eli Manning looks like he's 102. He looks terrible. He's awful.
They have absolutely no running game.
Yeah.
Without Odell Beckham, their receivers turned from potentially strong, I won't say amazing, but I'll say strong,
but good, to
like the Eagles of 2016.
Yeah, they were horrible. Brandon Marshall was like, I don't know how to do. I don't football.
Yeah.
He's nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen. Maybe it's time to drop him from your roster.
Who? I don't have him.
Could that be a segue?
Oh, segue. Oh, wait, we need a klaxon. Hold on.
Savage. The Savage segue brought to you by I don't know. Was that DJ Khaled?
I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's a guy's face is like a beardy man. I don't know.
Yeah. This sounds like DJ Khaled.
It's not him though. It's a redheaded man.
Is it Big Pun?
Maybe. I don't know.
He's not a player. He just sells his likeness to apps a lot.
Yes.
All right. So because we're officially into the season, we don't have to fill the show with a lot of preamble this week.
Yeah.
Well, not that we don't want to. I mean, we could. It's something that we're very good at. But
we've been off topic for about 45 minutes already.
It's true. It's true. We started the broadcast an hour into Josh and my conversation.
Yeah. We just. We should probably start now.
So we're going to jump right into what's good about week 2, because your time is valuable, because you need that time to work on your fantasy team. And we care about your fantasy team.
We're here for you. We're like financial advisors, but better.
Yes. Josh and Luke are on your side.
Unless we're playing against you in a league.
Nationwide, please pay us.
We can do it too.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm that country singer.
Oh, that's right. The new commercial where he's like,
got your car check.
I don't know who that guy is.
Wife can't drive. I don't know. It's some kind of country lyrics.
I don't live in a flyover state, so a commercial doesn't appeal to me. Hey, I know who that boy is. That's that country boy. Oh, I like this commercial. Better get some Nationwide.
Oh, man. I tell you what, though, and I do want a chicken parm sandwich.
I don't like them. I'll take a buffalo chicken cheesesteak, inject that shit into my mouth hole. Like this. Yeah.
All right. So because your time is valuable and Josh and I want to make the best use of your time, we're going to talk about waiver wire pickups.
Yeah.
Pickups. Waiver wire pickups. So this week, a couple of guys you can probably cut from your team moving forward. Definitely no need to hang on to Darren McFadden anymore. Especially because who's that guy that almost got Ezekiel Elliott?
Yeah, he's Zeke.
King's suspension is suspending his suspension
till next season.
He's going to get the full Brady. So nobody really needs Darren McFadden anymore.
Yeah.
And I think the world saw enough of Eddie Lacy to know that you could cut Eddie Lacy. Okay, that
Eddie
guy's done.
Lacy. What happened, Eddie? Too many chicken parm sandwiches.
And he had those bonuses to stay on weight, and I think he did. He just isn't good anymore.
Bad.
He's just bad. He's just bad. So those are probably the two biggest drops. Everybody else you should drop. You probably already know because they're hurt. Guys like Allen Robinson, Kevin White, like they should be cut because they're hurt, and you got to find a replacement. And that's a little bit about what the waiver wire is going to do this week. Do we think you should actually drop Brandon Marshall? I would wait and see still.
I wouldn't do it quite yet. You never know.
Yeah, he could have some games. Odell Beckham, we don't know exactly when he's coming back yet. And as strong as Sterling Shepard was as the option last year,
didn't look like it this year, huh?
Well, I mean, he did okay. He had the most.
I have him. Let's see. What did he do?
What's that word that you're looking for? The most compatibility? No, the most familiarity with Eli Manning. So he was an easier target to hit.
He went. What did he get? 44 yards. 44 yards.
But on a team that probably altogether only put up 100 that week.
Yeah.
He did his job. Brandon Marshall was a no-show. But I think you should hang on to him. He'll get into a rhythm eventually. If we're still seeing the same kind of production in like week 3, week 4, cut and run, right?
Get him out of there, yeah. For real.
We did notice a couple of guys that we think you should pick up if they're on your waiver wire.
One of them we were so right about, 100% right about.
100%?
From the get-go. From the get-go.
It's true. If you already don't have Kenny Golladay on your team, you need him.
Get him.
What were you thinking not drafting Kenny Golladay?
We told you to get him.
I can't remember a single comment to this show, about this show, directed at us, about this guy. And all we could tell you in the week leading up to game 1 for every single team, get yourself some Kenny Galladay. Get him.
Take a Galladay holiday.
Go get him.
We said.
Oh, a Galladay holiday.
You like that? Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Oh shit.
Oh, I couldn't have timed that any better.
That was perfect.
That was good. We're all right. So I've been Luke. That's Josh.
All right,
the
we'll see you
show's not
next
going to get any better than that bit. But for real, we made a huge mistake in that we'll own up to. We told you that you probably shouldn't play him, one guy. And, you know,
there was no reason to think that he was going to be. I mean, I know that people are like, he was like so great in camp and preseason and whoa. But like, there's no reason to think that he was going to go do that. There's none. There isn't. Like, there wasn't. So, but yeah, we were wrong. I mean, we were wrong for this week. We'll see what he does next week and this week. But I don't know.
For sure a pickup, though. And
get him.
Even if you don't start him, stash him, see how he goes.
Right.
There's a chance, you know, he has become the number 2 target instead of, you know, the third or fourth option. Not that there's anything wrong necessarily with Marvin Jones, but Golden Tate is the clear target machine out there. And it's anybody else's guess where the rest of those targets are going to go. But clearly Stafford's going to chuck it.
He's going to throw it.
Elsewhere, you probably don't remember that I told you last week David Johnson was going to have the worst year of his career.
Yeah.
And but no, he is going to be out for some time. And you might want to look at some Arizona running backs. Now, it did come out late this afternoon that Kerwin Williams is going to be the starting back out there.
The paint guy?
Yes. Kerwin Williams paint.
Get Kerwin Williams.
Sponsor us. The Kerwin Williams Matt Blatt Auto Paint Splat of the Week. That was a 94.1 Eagles radio joke.
Yeah.
Lost on so many of you. But Kerwin Williams is the number 1 guy out there. Whether he remains the number 1 guy, I don't know. He showed a few flashes, but didn't do a whole lot. And Arizona got cremated. But again,
they're real not looking
like we
good
told
either.
you, we did have the stats to back this up, that Detroit don't mess around at home. And West Coast teams coming to Detroit for 1 o'clock games suck, particularly the Cardinals. And that's exactly what they did. I didn't listen to my own advice and played Carson Palmer and paid for it dearly.
I was at a Eagles party, and the one guy there named Phil, he's super fucking funny. He was like, "Who should I start?" I got like Carson Palmer, and I forget who the other one was. And I was like, I mean, Palmer maybe, right? Like, who knows? Like, I forget. I don't remember the comparison, but he started. And we were watching like Red Zone, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry we told you to do that. That was terrible."
God damn it, baby, no, I ain't lying to you. I'm only gonna tell you one time.
Yep.
Now, as bad as he played, I will say, completely off topic, that well, it's not really off topic. It's a fantasy football show. I am going to play him again this week because Dak Prescott in that other league is my quarterback, and they're going up against Denver. There's no way I'm playing Prescott against Denver.
Yeah. That's smart.
But if Carson Palmer is on your team and you have a better option, I wouldn't dissuade you from looking elsewhere.
Put Galladay at quarterback.
Put Galladay at quarterback.
Probably he might throw it once.
I'll tell you what. I know for a fact Alex Smith is not owned in a lot of leagues.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's a season hold on to, but they are at home against the Eagles. Whose secondary is bad.
I know, and Darby's hurt for like a month or two, so
Yeah, remember that time when you dislocated your ankle and came back to work like 3 days later?
Yeah, right. Holy shit, that looked so disgusting. I was like, oh,
I thought he was done for.
fuck. It looked like broken ankle. Like that looked
Yeah.
broken. Yeah.
Fortunately, only a dislocation. Whew, all right, but yeah, I would say if you do need a quarterback, Alex Smith is a good bet. Don't buy the hype on Sam Bradford.
No. Sam Bradford going to Sam Bradford.
Yeah.
He's going to be Sam Bradford.
And I also probably wouldn't buy any hype on Jared Goff unless they're also playing the Colts again next week.
Right. Yeah, I'm weird. I'm like weird about Goff. Like, I don't know. I think the Eagles totally stole Palmer from them. Like they wanted Goff for whatever reason because he's from California or whatever. But like, he's not looking great. He's not looking too great. So maybe he will be. I don't know. But yeah, I wouldn't play him. Who are they playing? Who are the Rams playing?
Who are the Rams playing? I don't know. It doesn't matter. They're the Rams. But elsewhere, if you need to look, people that we're kind of high on, Danny Amendola. Now I know he's got that head injury, but
I picked him up in my other league.
Clearly is the Edelman replacement.
Yeah,
100 yards, even though he had the head injury. That's the guy you want for sure. And if he does, even if he doesn't play this week, he's going to be the guy for the season that when he comes back fills that role. Corey Coleman on the Browns. Not a lot of people have this guy.
Yeah, he's good.
And Kenny Britt sucks.
Yeah.
So you got to go with the guy out there that's going to get the targets. I think Coleman is the safe bet.
Agreed.
Now somebody that's a little bit riskier, only because there's an incumbent ahead of him in Justin Howard or Jordan Howard or Jamal Howard or Jason Howard, whatever the lead running back in Chicago's name is.
Yeah.
Tariq Cohen had himself a nice little game. Is he going to do that every week? I mean, I think we saw the peak. He could probably only go down from here, but he's definitely a good guy to stash, hold on to at least, and play when you need a good flex / RB2 on a bye week. Anybody else we shouldn't go after, do you think?
Oh, one of them I just picked up.
Who's that?
Jesse James.
Jesse James.
Well, I had Ebron. What's his name?
Eric Ebron.
Ebron, and that's not that wasn't working out for me. I don't know. Like the Lions don't play like that. It just doesn't seem like he's throwing to that tight end like ever. So he's like throwing to everybody else on the field, but he doesn't like that tight end. So Jesse James scored a touchdown. I don't know. Will he score a touchdown ever again this season?
Well, he scored 2 touchdowns.
He scored 2? I saw the one. I only saw the one.
Last year he had a total of 3, so he's already 66% of the way to.
That's some production.
That kind of thing. No, look, I don't think he's going to keep that pace.
Yeah.
But I also think tight end is a fairly deep position when you're looking for guys around the Jesse James level of production that you don't need to like run out there and waste a week 1 pick on this guy.
Yeah, he's my number 2 also. So like whatever. Like maybe he'll be good, maybe he won't, and I'll just get rid of him for somebody else on a bye week or something. Whatever, you know.
There's so many weapons in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Unless it's Antonio Brown or Le'Veon Bell, who had a bad game, but obviously don't drop Le'Veon Bell for God's sake. But they have so many weapons that the only sure bets are those 2 guys.
Right.
Every week. And I know Giovanni Bernard in Cincinnati is kind of like a go-to flex player. He's like the Cincinnati version of Darren Sproles, a little bit younger, just as effective. But that running back situation out there is a mess, and that offensive line looks like trash.
In Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Mixon, and I was like, oh, Mixon's probably going to get, like, some runs, but, like, maybe not. Like, maybe, like, 10, maybe. And, like, I don't know what's going on. Jeremy Hill is, like, is in my other league up for grabs. Like, is there anyone who wants to run the ball in Cincinnati? Like, does anyone want to be the number 1 running back?
Right.
I don't know.
Well, that's a good question.
Who knows? Maybe they all just like are on running back strike over there. Who knows?
And that's kind of why, you know, it's a little bit of a murky thing, and until it sorts itself out, you probably don't want to go diving after fourth or fifth running back guys like Gio Bernard. If you already have them on your roster, don't cut them. But you know, there are some other names we've been throwing out there that are probably going to do you a lot
like Galladay
good now than they will at the end of the year.
Right.
Now it's time for my favorite part of the show.
Yes, we have a new sponsor.
Well, this is we don't have a new sponsor. This is our original sponsor first.
Oh, I thought, but we have a new.
We have a new sponsor coming.
Oh, we do.
But first, it's time to talk about our Monster Game of the Week.
Oh, nice. So
good.
Sponsored
by Monster Ultra, 0 calories, sugar. 0 calories, 0 sugar, ultra flavor, Monster Energy. I literally just spilled this everywhere.
That's okay.
Oh no, it's not. It's just condensation because it's so humid in my house right now.
It's like really humid here today. It's like 200% humidity.
So based on last week's games, I think you can tell who our Monster Game of the Week is going to go to. Sponsored by Monster Ultra. It's Kareem Hunt. And he was running.
What a crazy game. What a crazy, crazy game.
I think that was my favorite game. Not just because like the Patriots lost or whatever, but because it was one of the most watchable games all weekend.
Yeah, well, there were some pretty terrible games going on this weekend, and that game was not one of them. That was a great game. Kareem Hunt, first carry, coughs it up. Not good. Then he goes and scores 3 touchdowns. He almost gets 100 yards receiving and 150 rushing yards.
He's the most most all-purpose yards or yards from scrimmage, however you want to call it, by a player in his first game. You know,
it's crazy.
Nobody we know that the Patriots defense isn't amazing, right? But they're good, and they keep teams fairly contained because most of the time teams are playing catch up. But Kansas City has an offense that is good enough to stretch all kinds of people all over the field. And if you bought the hype on Kareem Hunt, which I did in one league, which I told you to on this show, you were rewarded handsomely by his performance.
That's a lot of points. I don't know how many points that would be in our league. Who had him?
I have him in our Yahoo league.
You do.
It was like 45.5 points.
That's insane. That's insane.
It's really a lot.
That's like you're winning.
Yeah. Well, we do. I mean, to be fair, we do play PPR.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, 45 points is like you had a day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And he lit them up. So, and I think he's a great play this week against the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm a little bit afraid for this game. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
I think it's good that we won in week 1 because this one I had penciled in for a super loss.
A super loss? Yeah. It feels like that. It feels like not a good game.
Yeah, we're going to Kansas.
Yeah, it's Kansas City. It's that weird Eagles like can't beat AFC teams from weird places like Kansas City, or like when Seattle was in the AFC, it was always a loss and they were terrible. I don't know. And but I don't know, like Reed's weirdo too. He's a super weirdo. Maybe he'll lose. Like who knows? Maybe like I don't know. Alex Smith is not Superman, even though he played like he was.
It's true. He's not Superman. But unlike the Eagles, who have like a modified Chiefs playbook, the Chiefs actually have people that can run all those stupid bubble screens.
Yeah, all that shit.
Tyreek Hill's gonna like go bonkers on this team. No, who's gonna stop him? Nobody. Who's gonna stop Travis Kelce?
Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolts.
I don't know.
You know, they have a lot of weapons in places where the Eagles are the weakest.
Not great. Yeah. Yep.
But
it's not going to be good.
But we can pressure, so we'll find. I mean, we'll see how it goes.
Hope I'm wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's hope we're all wrong.
We're doing good on that one so far. Week 2.
Now it is time for our newest non-sponsor,
Mhm.
I'm talking about the boner roster move of the week, sponsored by Fleshlight.
We don't have one to show you.
Yes, I don't have one, but we do have some marketing notes here. Boner roster move of the week, sponsored by Fleshlight. When you have a boner, take it out of your roster and stick it into a Fleshlight.
There you go. It's terrible. Keep it. Approved. Yeah.
Hang on.
It's
I don't know what that
Is it
was.
a slide whistle?
Yeah, but why is that on the David Lee Roth soundboard?
They use a slide whistle in it? I don't know. There it is.
There it is. The boner roster move of the week, Russell Wilson.
I played him in my other league. Oh!
Yeah, and I think a lot of people played him. And
Yeah.
for a lot of people, he may be a number one quarterback. And a lot of people expected him to not have a very hard time against Green Bay.
Yeah.
But less than 10 total points in both ESPN and Yahoo standard scoring.
Yeah, I think
100
he got 8.
Yeah, 158 passing yards and a fumble loss, 40 rushing yards. The guy did nothing. If you played him, you probably got boned.
Yeah, I got boned. I had to stick my bone in a flashlight when I got home. I didn't. I actually don't have one. I'm not against them.
No, I think
Actually, you want to sponsor us and send us a whole boatload of flashlights?
yeah, we'll give them away.
Yeah, we'll give them away to ourselves.
But yeah, the you know what's crazy about Fleshlight is
Yeah.
on their website, what you can get models that are of the butt.
Yeah, you get the butt, the mouth.
Well, no, you can get the butt,
Mm-hmm.
the mouth, or the lady. They don't
What?
call it the they don't call it a vagina. They call
it a lady.
that one the lady.
Okay. What? Why not use the medical term vagina? It's a medical term.
I don't know. I think it's just more appealing to people who want to buy. Like, yes,
The lady.
I'm getting the lady.
It like tricks them into thinking they're buying a lady.
Maybe, I don't know. But you know what? What a product! I mean, for real.
What a world.
What a world. Dishwasher safe.
Yeah.
I've heard from
So I have
a
also
reliable source.
yes, very reliable.
It is not one of us. If that's
It's
what
not
you're
us.
thinking.
Seriously,
no,
no, it's not.
We anyway.
Anyway.
Thank you to our sponsor, non-sponsors this week: Monster Ultra, 0 calorie, 0 sugar, ultra flavor, and Fleshlight for those great boner tips. Now
Yeah.
it's time for our favorite part of the show. Listener questions.
Oh.
Thank you all again for participating in our listener questions this week and using our
So many.
hashtag. I am continually amazed, even just 2 weeks into this, that y'all are being so welcoming to this fun little show that we do, and are willing to take our advice into consideration, even if you don't actually follow it, which I only 80% think you should.
Yeah. We're gonna be super wrong a lot. Is it wrong? Is it possible to be wrong? Is it possible to be wrong 200% of the time? Because it feels like that's where we're headed.
God damn it, baby, no, I ain't lying to you. I'm only gonna tell you one time.
Man, I gotta remember that's the long one and not to click that off.
That one's the best one. It's the best one.
Whoa, this thing's flying out of control today.
I don't have mine on today.
I do it just because sometimes I get real poppy with my stuff, and
I'm kind of far away, so I'm all right, I think.
Oh, yeah. I never trust how far away I'm supposed to be.
I don't
Now
know.
you can hear me really good. Now you can hear me only kind of good.
I'm kind of trapped where I only have a limited. I need like a thing, like a stand or something. I don't.
Oh yeah, we got to get those real ones.
I know. I need one that just is here always, and just I can move it.
Yeah, we'll get there once we hit 100 subscribers and can actually make this channel name a name instead of 37,000 random characters.
Yeah,
it'll be great.
Once we get that fleshlight money, it'll be rolling.
Fleshlight money, dude. I wonder if you can fit a monster can in a fleshlight.
I mean, if you, never mind. Depends on which lady you get. That's what I was.
You may have to take this soundboard away from me.
No, I'm not taking anything away from anybody. More soundboards.
Okay, where were we? Listener questions. Hello.
Here we go.
All right. We got two good ones from at Banjo Story. And one I sort of addressed earlier, but one I really want to dig into here's the first one. Was Le'Veon Bell's bad game a fluke, or should we hit the panic button?
Fluke.
Total fluke. Fluke.
I mean, this whole week it was real fluky, and like week one is often weird. There was a little more like weirdness, and like every team seemed to be playing badly. Like there was lots of bad play, but like Bell's he's not gonna do that again. I mean, if he does, that's another fluke. Like this is not. Don't panic.
Right, and it's strange that you bring that up because as I was watching some of these games this week and the highlights from them, and seeing how bad they were, all I could think was, I wish we had a way to insert the clip of you last week just continually saying, week one's a weird week.
It's weird.
Weird stuff is going to happen. Like, you could put everybody you want in and hope they're going to do their thing, and it's going to be topsy-turvy.
It's crazy. It just always feels like that. And I mean, there's a lot of discussion about it lately because of teams. We might talk about it last week. Teams don't hit. They don't play full preseason games. There's only 4 preseason games, which is actually only like 2 preseason games for the starters, if that. So they're rusty. They're just rusty, and weird shit's going to happen, man.
And it did.
A lot of weird shit.
Now, the question I think is really interesting from a fantasy football perspective, because this will be a fairly obvious one for the real world, but does being at home or being the road team matter in fantasy football? And I don't think he's saying or she. Banjo Story could be a she. I'm sorry.
I think it's a he.
Okay. I just look at the names. I don't look at profile pictures.
Right. What they're saying.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Home field advantage is a thing in the real world, and ESPN and Yahoo, they'll be like, "Oh, you versus this guy. You're the home team." Like that's fake, right?
It's bullshit.
But do you consider who's at home and who's away when setting your roster?
I mean, I look at it, but it's not like it's way down on the list of things. I think it's something that I think you could definitely think about. Like, when the Eagles are going out to the Chargers, or what are they doing? They're going to Seattle.
City.
Well, there's a week where they're staying out there.
Oh.
They're going to play. I think it's the Seahawks, and then somebody out there. I don't know. One of the teams out in California. So like that might screw them up. But like, I don't know. Like, it's not worth, in my opinion, to super consider. Like, if you're really like looking for like a tiebreaker decision method, maybe like that's like your 18th thing on your list, right? But I don't know. It's not too important, I don't think.
I believe what you're saying. But also, I got burned by not following that advice this week by playing Carson Palmer on the road in a game, right? But like you said, but to an extent, I will use that as kind of a metric.
Right.
Is a running back home on Sunday and home on a Thursday game?
Right.
Is he home on Sunday and away on a Thursday game?
A little different.
Those are the kind of things where you really need to think. Like, I honestly don't believe you should ever start anybody that's like questionably a starter on a Thursday night game. Obviously Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, those, Le'Veon Bell, you're starting those guys, right? But if you're like, who do I play as RB2 this week? The Thursday guy? Like, I almost always stay away from that. Now, it's bitten me in the butt a few times.
Right.
But Thursday games have shown us, especially last year, that like if you have a breakout game, it's not anything to do with anything other than it was Thursday and you got lucky.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think that those are like some of the more like unwritten rules, right? Of like you're very good at that. You're very good at like thinking in that mode where you're like, well, here are all these like different variables, and like I'm going to quantify them in my mind. I'm not very good at that. But like you're super good at that. So like, listen to Luke is what I'm saying. Don't listen to me.
I got an endorsement from my co-host.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get all your fleshlights from you when they finally get to see us.
Woo! So hopefully those answer your questions, Banjo's story.
Yeah, thank you for the questions.
Now here is another one that is hitting a little close to home for me.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yo, Josh Robb wants to know, is Adrian Peterson a bust already? And this hits home closely for me because I bought into the hype.
Mm-hmm.
I drafted him in one of my leagues. I may have even drafted him in 2 of my leagues.
Okay.
And I bought into the hype, and I don't think he's a bust, but I dropped him.
Yeah, I don't know about bust, but I wouldn't play him. So I would probably get rid of him, or maybe try to trade him if you have somebody who really wants him or whatever. I don't know, but like I wouldn't play him. He looks old. He looks not great, and but that could be because he's on the Saints and like they're not gonna run the ball a whole bunch. And that other guy, what's his name? The other running back who I just picked up also.
Right. That other guy, Alvin
Kamara.
Chimera. Yes.
Alvin Chimera. He looked pretty good. I mean, he
did. He looked really good. He looked really good catching the ball.
Yeah.
And New Orleans is one of those teams that has gone with that kind of combo attack.
Right.
And I kind of thought we would get a good like thunder out of Ingram and Peterson.
Yeah.
But Peterson, I mean, I don't know if it was just like he was too emotional or something, but he did not look good.
No, he did not.
In that game. And, in my one league, I was fortunate to, see that there were some good guys on the waiver wire that I kind of wanted a little bit more. And I have, guys like Kareem Hunt on this other team already. So I was kind of like, you know what, I'm giving up on Peterson.
Yeah.
I think if you have him on your team and he's not a starter for you, you should hold on to him at least through week 4.
Yeah.
You got to kind of see how that distribution is going to go.
Yeah.
But if by the end of this first month, it's still looking like Peterson is going to be jawing with
Sean Payton
on the sideline.
Yeah, that was rough.
It's time to cut and run.
Yeah, you don't want to see that. That's not good. Never a good sign.
I mean, I want to see it because it makes for great TV.
Yeah, but you don't want to be on that team and be like, oh, things are going great. We're losing. Yeah, the Saints didn't look too good either, so you never know. Maybe they're never going to run. Like, they're never going to just run like how AP did. Like, they're just never going to do that. He's only going to – your hope is to have him break off a big run or maybe – score in the red zone every now and then, right? Like they're just not going to run like that. So, but yeah, I agree. Keep him around. Get rid of him if he's still not doing anything. He's going to be really, really unhappy. Like if that's the case, that dude is going to be super pissed off.
Oh, for sure.
Because he's like a Hall of Famer, right? Like arguably,
probably. Yeah, he probably will make it. He was really good for a real long time.
Yeah, he was really good. So.
All right, and I have one here that's not on the board,
okay,
but is in a similar vein. I forgot to include this. This comes from our boy Johnny Chugs, a.k.a. TJ Denzel Dens, TJ Denzel Washingtons.
That's a good one.
And he says, a lot of folks slept on Mike Gillislee and missed out big.
Yeah.
Are we banking on him staying hot, or do we consider it a fluke? Now, I'll say this. You had Gillislee on your bench.
Yep.
I had him on my bench in another league, and I left him on the bench for the first game specifically, and I started James White over him, specifically because I knew James White was a known quantity.
Right.
And, between Burkhead and Gillislee, I didn't really know which direction the Patriots were going to go, right?
Right.
Clearly, it's now Gillislee.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a fluke.
I started him, so yeah.
I think 3 touchdowns a week is asking a lot.
Right. He might get one, but he's gonna get that one in that short yardage.
He's gonna get you 6. He's gonna get you 40 or 50 yards. He might get you a second touchdown. But to me, Gillislee is the 2017 blunt on that team.
Yeah.
And I'm not ruling out like 15 plus touchdowns for this guy.
Which would be awesome.
You know, he's not going to get a ton of yards, but I mean, if you get a consistent 10, 12 points out of him a week and then a bonus 6 on top of that, that's a really good RB2 flex.
That's sweet. Yeah.
So I bank on him staying warm, not hot. Hot to me would be getting those 2-3 a week.
Yeah. 3 a week is crazy. Like, if I scored 3 touchdowns in a football game in the NFL, I would definitely go to the Fleshlight store and buy myself the newest lady model they had.
All I've got, I had to steal.
Had to steal him.
Had to steal him.
Can't afford him now. Not scoring 3 touchdowns a week.
Oh, man. So I hope that answers your question, Janicha.
Okay.
Moving right along. All right. We got Heck You, Paul, which I hope is a reference to the Paul we know, but I doubt that it is. We got a question here. Out of these 4 players, which would you consider starting in a flex? Now, I didn't establish whether or not this was PPR, but we'll just run with it.
Sure.
Pittsburgh's Martavis Bryant, Detroit's Amir Abdullah, Atlanta's Tevin Coleman, or Washington's Rob Kelly. And we got to pick one for the flex.
Tevin Coleman, probably.
You think Tevin Coleman?
Yeah, I have Amir Abdullah. He's okay. I don't like Martavis Bryant. That might be a personal thing because I've had him in leagues prior, and I also just got rid of him. He just, whenever I have him, he seems to do nothing for me. I don't know if that could just be me like thinking that that's happening. I don't have stats in front of me to look or whatever, but like I'm not a big fan of his in fantasy. Like he'll catch a ball or two and he'll have some games, right? Like he's had some games, but like I never seem to have him when he does that. So I don't know. But I do have Amir Abdullah. That's iffy. I don't know.
Yeah, Bryant is one of those guys that is of the, I want to say it like the Deshaun Jackson mold.
Yeah.
Where he can, not that he disappears, but you need more than 3 catches for 40 yards out of somebody like that. And there are going to be games where he gets 3 for 40, and there are going to be games where he gets 3 for 120.
Right.
And 2 touchdowns.
Right.
So you're really gambling on whether or not that's the kind of week he's going to have. And if I recall correctly, Pittsburgh is home against the Vikings, and the Vikings defense is no joke.
Pretty good. Yeah, they got a lot of good cornerbacks. Their secondary's pretty good.
Pittsburgh is at home.
Yeah,
that's
right.
It's another one of those things where how you're going to feel. I would not play Tevin Coleman just because Freeman is the guy there.
Yeah,
and they're playing Green Bay, whose rush defense isn't tremendous, but they stonewalled Seattle.
Right. Yeah.
And Devonta Freeman is the go-to guy. Tevin Coleman is basically good for 10 touches a game.
Right.
What he does with those 10 touches is going to be a lot like Martavis Bryant, where maybe he is going to break a huge one, but I don't know if this is the week. That's a real tough call. Rob Kelly is like whatever to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Rob Kelly, I don't know what you're getting with Rob Kelly. Like even when before this week, I was like, oh man, like Fat Rob Kelly, right? He's got a nickname. He's gonna be pretty good, and people like him or whatever. And he can run, but he did not look good. I mean, the Eagles' defensive line is super fucking good.
Right.
They're real good, but I guess I have Abdullah, and he always seems to be pretty solid. I don't like starting him, but
I mean, in a flex, I could see him being the option out of these 4 guys. But of course, now that we've given you this advice, Martavis Bryant is going to have a Kenny Galladay type of day.
That dude's going to score 4 or 5. He's going to break the record for touchdowns.
So keep in mind that whatever person we tell you is going to be is probably going to be amazing.
Amazing.
Except when they're not, and then we were right.
Then we were right. And we get to be right both times. It's great.
So it's you're damned if you do, and we're there are no consequences because it's the internet and it's fantasy football. So
Yeah. Who knows?
All right.
Next question is crazy.
Is it?
It's a lot of options. Oh,
It is a lot of options. Okay, so Guck Galley, Guckgally at Guckgally, had Allen Robinson
right
done for the year.
Rip.
On the bench,
Mm-hmm.
this person has Eric Decker, Marquise Lee, Jordan Matthews, and Emmanuel Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Of those four, I think Sanders and Decker are probably the safest bets to be your. If I'm assuming Robinson was your wide receiver too,
right?
I think those are safe bets for consistency. I think Lee's going to get those targets that you're missing, or at least some of them. But let's remember that it's Jacksonville, and Blake Bortles is going to Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
And Jordan Matthews showed he actually had some catches. He was targeted numerous times.
I was wrong.
But Buffalo is still primarily LaShawn McCoy's team. Jordan Matthews, I would say, is like your bye week savior, not your injury replacement. Now, in this league, Guck Galley also wants to know whether or not they should pick up Ted Ginn Jr., Mohamed Sanu, or Robert Woods.
Who's Robert Woods?
A wide receiver on some team who is escaping me right now. I had this information in my head and then I lost it. I think Ted Ginn is still a reasonably good player to have on your bench.
Yeah, I would pick. Yeah, Ted Ginn's okay.
But if your league still has Mohamed Sanu available, snap him up. Snap him up, because when Julio Jones is covered,
they're throwing him. Yeah,
I think
a lot.
The tight end that just blew up, his name escapes me too.
Oh yeah,
Prospero, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, you're muted. Are you muted?
I came prepared this week. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I really I muted it because I had a little something in my throat, and then I guess I didn't unmute it. Or did I hit the button and it still heard the thing in my throat?
No, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear anything. I thought maybe you just accidentally hit it. My bad.
What the hell's that guy's name? This is gonna kill me. Anthony Fasano? No. Holy shit. We are the fantasy experts. You can catch us on YouTube for free. We have 17 subscribers.
For free. I'm looking it up.
Oh my God. Packers, Falcons. That guy's name is Austin Hooper.
Hooper.
You got steady hands, Mr. Hooper. Austin Hooper, I think he's going to be okay, but I don't think he's going to have that kind of game again. I think Sanu is a great pickup for your team.
Yeah.
And I would go so far as to say he's such a good pickup. You might want to consider dropping Jordan Matthews.
Yeah, I would not have a problem with that.
If you need that space, if you have any of those other running backs we said you should drop, or any of those other players we said are droppable,
right?
Obviously, but I think Sanu's a much better return of investment.
Yeah, agreed. I don't have a problem with dropping Jordan Matthews for like a ham sandwich. Honestly, like I just don't think he's not gonna score 9 touchdowns this year, and I don't know. Like it doesn't feel like it anyway. So
I got no love
for Jordan Matthews. Oh, the internet was a mistake.
It was, for sure.
Oh man, moving right along. Mel Gray 8.
Hey Mel. Hell Mel. Hey Mel. I can't talk either.
Mel is a frequent Twitter notification buzzer.
Yep.
We love you. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Mel.
Josh, are you going to start, if you have the option, Tom Brady in New Orleans or Matt Stafford in New York against the New York Football Giants?
After seeing New York play last week, I would start Matt Stafford. I think Tom Brady is going to do okay in New Orleans. I think he's. I don't know. I don't think he's like done. I mean, I think he'd be stupid to be like, he's over, or whatever. Like, people are already like, oh my God, there it is. I think it's wishful thinking. But just for like the odds, playing the odds here, Stafford in New York, like for sure. Like, the Giants are really bad. They're really bad.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think that there's a chance Stafford, from a fantasy perspective, is going to give you a better performance.
Yeah. Might not win, might not.
He might not win.
Right.
He might throw a couple picks, but I think you might end up with more points, particularly if in New England, all those touchdowns go on the ground again to Gillisley. Because Brady has shown time and again that he doesn't care how they win.
Yeah.
As long as they win.
Right.
So now that said, again, here's what's going to happen is
Brady's going to go light it up.
It's going to be a gun show, and it's going to be Drew Brees throwing deep to Ted Ginn. It's going to be Tom Brady throwing it over the top to Brandon Cooks. That's the thing I didn't consider is, New Orleans, this will be a homecoming for Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
And he has traditionally played phenomenally in the Superdome.
Yeah.
So
fast as hell.
Something to consider.
Yeah.
For sure. Today, though, I think, oh man, I don't know how you have both Brady and Stafford in this league, but
that's crazy.
I'm going against all reasonable convention and agreeing with Josh that you go with Stafford on the upsides.
I think it's just a numbers game, right? Like that in my head, the math is just Stafford is going to get you more points. I don't know. I could be wrong, but
I can't believe we're living in a world where we're considering not starting Tom Brady.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Woo! All right.
Next
Here's a great one.
This is a really good
one. Steve Nemczek. Nemczek. I was putting the little Polish check on it.
Yeah, it might be it. I don't know. I never heard him say it.
Question is, would you draft the Fridge if he was still around for your fantasy football team today? Now, because I do actually play in a league where we have to draft one actual defensive player, I'd give him a go.
Yeah. If you're in that league. I thought he meant as like every now and then he gets a touch and like in the Super Bowl he gets the football. Like if you have to draft one defensive player, sure. I mean, he was a tackle, right? So like
he's like a nose tackle,
yeah. Like, yeah, why not?
William Perry, a G.I. Joe, and a fantasy football superstar.
Wait, he was a G.I. Joe?
Yeah. You don't remember that?
He
wasn't free. He had a figure that came out, and he had like a ripped up jersey, and and he had
yes.
Remember?
Oh my God! Yeah, I think I had that.
Everybody had that one.
Holy shit! I totally forgot about that.
It was like a mail away figure, I think.
Oh man, I need to go to eBay and buy another
Remember
one.
when we used to do that? Like buy toys, cut them up, and then send in things. Then they'd be like, here's another toy.
More toys. The 80s.
The original customer loyalty program.
Yep.
If I buy 8 more G.I. Joes, I get 1 G.I. Joe free.
It's a pizza.
It is a pizza. All right. Big Man Finelli at Big Man Finelli on Twitter. Hollering at us with a this is a fairly easy question for you to answer specifically.
Yeah.
Martellus Bennett at the Falcons or Eric Ebron at the New York Giants?
Martellus Bennett at the Falcons. Ebron,
right.
Ebron's he's not. And again, I know this is like every time we do it, but again, like maybe he'll do something and score 2 touchdowns or whatever. Martellus Bennett, like. He played pretty well. He's on Packers, right? And he played against Seattle, right? Yes, he was doing good. He's usually good for a couple of catches. Ebron is not good for like anything. I don't know. I think he does he block even? I mean, you don't get points for blocking, but like Is he a good blocker? Why is he on the football field?
I mean, I assume it's because they want him to receive the ball every once in a while, but he does not do it very
Often.
much.
It's
Yeah.
very rare.
Can you bench Eric Ebron and pick up Kenny Galladay? That's the question.
There you go.
That's your answer. All right. Geeky by Nature, at Geeky by Nature 1, actually, has the Chiefs defense, wants to know, with Eric Berry being out, is that enough of a downgrade to drop that defense?
I wouldn't say so. I don't like to think one player on a defense like makes that defense amazing. I mean, I don't know. Like I would still keep them. I don't think Eric Berry being out makes the other defensive backs worse. Like Marcus Peters, he's a Pro Bowler. Like he's been great the last 2 years, really good. I would keep him.
Yeah, the Chiefs have, I mean, in the Andy Reid era, almost entirely have been a very strong defense. And even when Eric Berry was away, fighting cancer, they may have slipped a little bit, but they're still a really, really strong defense. And unless your league is one of those crazy ones that like penalizes you for yards given up,
right,
or something like that, I don't think it's enough to drop the Chiefs defense.
Right.
The only reason you should ever drop a defense is if they're really like just letting points through like sieves.
Yeah.
Or they're only mediocre or average, and they have a bye week.
Right, bye week.
I mean, otherwise, like the Chiefs are a top 10 defense, and you should hold on to them. Now this is a tough question.
Oh man, yeah, I don't like this question.
So I'm gonna come back to it.
Okay, we'll save that one. We can think about it.
We're gonna go here to Geeky by Nature 1 with another question.
Oh whoa, another one.
Do you have any good Star Wars related team name suggestions?
Oh man, I like to. So I'm in a Game of Thrones themed league with Nell, and I like to take some time and think about my team name. Some of them are pretty funny, but I'd have to sit and think about it. I mean, there's a million things you could do with Star Wars. Like, there's so many things. I don't know if I could think of one right now.
The Mara Jadavion Clownies.
There you go. That's pretty good.
What else we got?
That's pretty good.
Delaney Skywalkers.
There you go.
Something. Jadavion Cloud City. I don't know.
Those are 3 amazing team names.
What's that?
The Eagles 88s.
Oh, the Eagles 88. I love it. I love it. Yes.
There you go.
Oh man.
You can spend all day doing this.
TD3PO.
That was so terrible. I love it. TD3PO?
Yes.
Dude, use that one. We're done. That one's it. Go with it.
Yes.
Dave agrees.
Oh man. All right, now we're going back to the question we tried to avoid.
Oh god.
Who has the chance to have a better potential season this year? Jared Goff, Trevor Siemian, or
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. I want to keep calling him Deshaun
Kaiser,
but it's Deshaun. Yeah, it's Deshaun Watson. Man.
Watson, probably.
Really?
Well, he has what's his name?
D-Hop.
Yeah, he's got DeAndre Hopkins. So, but I don't know. Siemens first is. I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan. Somehow he keeps being the starting quarterback up there. I don't know what's going on. I don't like him. He's not great. And Goff, again, we said Goff's a little. I mean, maybe just from like potential upside instead of like kinetic energy, potential energy. Goff, maybe, because like who knows? But like, I think I would go with Watson.
I'm going to tend to agree with you based on potential season.
Yeah.
And I think if this changes to career, it goes Goff, Watson, Simeon.
I agree with that also.
But I think the chance for a better season, as long as he gets to start,
right?
And that for whatever reason, Houston, I don't know why you're still potentially starting Tom Savage, but
they're big Fred Savage fans up there. They're big Wonder Years fans, and they think that it's his brother. I don't know.
Yeah. So for season, Watson, Goff, Simeon.
Yeah.
For career, Goff, Watson, Simeon.
Simeon last always.
Simeon always last. I think
he's
even
an anomaly.
Yeah, that defense is going to give him short fields.
Yeah.
And his touchdown interception ratio is going to be not great.
It's going to be pretty even keeled.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the chants start coming for Brock Osweiler.
Yeah.
Not that they might start him, but the chance.
It's destiny. It's been written in the stars.
John Elway fucking writ this on the end zone when he flipped over at one time, and it's come true.
It's super, super good play, man. They were like, we'll just get him cheap later. Nobody's gonna want him. And if we play Simeon, he's so bad they won't even notice how bad Osweiler is.
It's very true. Very true. So there's your answer. Johnny Ketchum at Johnny Ketchum sent that one in.
Good question.
The next one at Barnabas Blent. When you're picking a quarterback to play in a given week, do you base it on ability or the defense they're going up against?
I do ability because I think, to be a quarterback in the NFL, you have to be like really, really good anyway, like to be a starting quarterback. So I go ability because ability is going to get you just more points. I think on the average, you're going to get more points. Matchup is like a close second, I think. I didn't like that Russell Wilson Packers matchup like that. I kind of had a bad taste in my mouth about that one, but I was like, well, Wilson can pull out some games, so that's like a negative. But I go ability.
Yeah, that's kind of how you want to pick them to start the season, right? So, that's how you're building your roster, is who you think is going to put up the best season based on their past and their abilities. And you don't really look at the 16-week schedule to say, this guy's playing all these soft teams. He's, but defensive matchups do come into play, I think, when you're deciding, later in the season when it comes down to after a couple weeks of seeing how these guys are playing, how defenses are reacting. And, I stupidly played Carson Palmer going west. Those are times where I'll think about that because it's like, oh, they got a 1 o'clock game. It's the Chargers against the Jets. Like, I'm not starting Phil Rivers. Right. Like, I'm not doing
it.
But that's like the only time that like matchup comes into it for me. When or those sloppy Thursday games,
right?
You want to avoid those. Short week is never good for anybody on offense.
But so you have Phillip Rivers and he's going to the Jets, right? And you have Aaron Rodgers and he's going to the Raiders or something. Like, you're going to pick Aaron Rodgers.
Right. Well, I think if you have Aaron Rodgers on your team, you're starting Aaron Rodgers.
No matter what.
Right? But if you have Phil Rivers or Matt Stafford,
that's true. Then, it gets a little. I still would probably pick Stafford anyway. Philip Rivers freaks me out. He could go either way. He's like a loose cannon.
He is a loose cannon. He was a loose cannon this week, man. On Monday, cannonizing all over the place.
If they got points for how many times you impregnated your wife, I would pick Phillip Rivers.
Is that a thing?
He has like 45 kids.
What? No, he doesn't.
He's like 14 children.
Aren't you thinking about Antonio Cromartie.
Cromartie has like 14 kids, and he had a vasectomy. But Philip Rivers,
listen,
dude,
Antonio Cromartie had a vasectomy and had 3 kids since he had that vasectomy.
He needs a refund or he needs to switch to Fleshlight, dude.
Yo, I was seriously considering a vasectomy this year until I read that story. And I was like, wait.
Yeah.
You could still accidentally have 3 kids?
You can, I mean, I don't know, man. He needs to go to another doctor, I think, is what needs to happen.
I mean, I understand that the procedure isn't like a hundo P, but...
No. It's there's still, things can regrow.
Right, but like... After you have the first one, after you have a vasectomy, don't you go back and be like, back. Hey, I need another one.
No, definitely you go back and you're like, hey, guy, what happened? Or lady who did this, Yeah, no, he has 8 kids. They have 8 or 9 kids. This is from a while ago.
Are they one of those families that's like, they all like have to marry each other?
Well, like the Duggars or whatever.
Yeah, whatever those guys are.
I don't know. I think there's a little bit of that going on with them.
All right, moving on before we get too sidetracked into who's having sex. Arguably the best question of the week comes from @RoboDuke.
Yeah.
Fuck, marry, kill. Randall, Donovan, or Carson. I got mine ready for you right now. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Marry Carson.
Yeah.
Fuck Randall.
Yeah.
Kill Donovan.
That's the same. It's the same.
It's not because I don't like Donovan McNabb as a quarterback.
Right.
But since his career ended,
things have gone south.
I don't like him.
Yeah. He's kind of a dickhead.
Yeah. And Randall, I still have a Randall Bar wrapper somewhere in my house in like an old photo album that I saved.
Yeah.
The dude was one handsome dude. And he's still handsome, but like when he was younger and he had that nice little edge up and like with the face. That's a handsome man.
So I don't know if I ever told you this, but when I was in 4th grade, I had pneumonia. And I went to church on Christmas Eve, which I used to have to do. And at my church, his name was David Price. He was like the assistant trainer to the Eagles. Like he knew I was a big Eagles fan when I was a kid, and I had my football cards with me because I would just look at them because church sucks. So I had the card. I still have it. I hung it up in my living room. We're not in my living room right now, but I gave him the card that it was like the Randall Cunningham to Fred Barnett 92-yard pass in Buffalo. It was like a Topps card or whatever.
Yeah.
He took it with him, and he had Randall sign it, and he gave it back to me. And like a week later, the Eagles sent me a get well card with like Randall Cunningham's autograph. I got Jerome Brown's autograph on a thing. Yeah, man, it's awesome. So I fucking love Randall Cunningham. Like when I was a kid, I loved Randall Cunningham.
So is he a marry for you then, or is he still just a fuck?
I don't know. I love redheads, man.
Oh, that makes sense. I'll be honest. The only reason I want to marry Carson is because modern day NFL contracts are for a lot more money.
Yeah, he's gonna be rich.
And my dude is rich.
Yeah, they're gonna give him.
And he lives in the middle of nowhere during the off season, so I wouldn't have to talk to people.
Right. I know. Yeah,
it's all that sweet venison, all that fucking venison, man.
Oh, sweet deer meat. He's got cool dogs too. He Instagrams them.
I would marry him. I know it's probably against his religion, but
that's true. Maybe I would marry Randall. No, I might.
No, Randall's like a preacher, so it's against his religion too.
Yeah, that's true. Oh God,
I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
That's true. It's just. Maybe I'll get pneumonia. If I'm lucky, I'll get pneumonia this year, and I'll get a Carson Wentz autograph. Here's praying. Come on, pneumonia.
Here's praying. All right. This question I have no answer for.
Yeah, I don't know this thing.
I don't know this. I'm not. So, preface, neither of us are familiar with this, the question being posed to us. Would you stop at Cheese Castle before or after a Packers game? This comes from @Jads of all trades.
Was it if you were a Bears fan? I read
this. As a Bears fan, because I assume they're going to Green Bay.
To Green Bay, right.
So it's just more I think it's more of a question of should I stop before or after in regards to food? Are you worried that it's going to go through you before the game?
I think probably a lot of Packers fans are there. So I guess it depends on who wins. So Andrew Jadzik is from Wisconsin, and we met him in the summertime. Him and his, I think, wife, maybe his fiance. They go to different baseball stadiums, and we met them at the Phillies game. Very nice people. They brought us delicious cheese. It was fucking phenomenal. Okay. I'm assuming this is like a Packers thing. I don't know. But I think it depends on if the Bears lose or win. I think it depends on when you go.
Okay. Well, at Jads of all trades, this week your assignment is to write us an email explaining and send it to fantasyfootballfantasypod@gmail.com and give us a little rundown of what Cheese Castle is. Tell us, a favorite story of yours from going there, perhaps. Yeah. And we'll converse and talk about it on the air. I'm eager to hear all about it because a cheese castle sounds amazing.
Amazing. I love cheese.
I love cheese.
Dude.
Yes.
Fuck it.
Yes, I'm living at a base that kills.
Yes, the obesity rate and mortality rate in Green Bay, Wisconsin will kill you. But God damn it, cheese is worth it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna live on a planet that doesn't have cheese. I'm checking out if I can't have cheese. Sorry, I'm gonna die. It's not worth it.
All right, we got one more question today.
Number one question.
Thanks for sticking with us so long today, team. You've been real troopers. This comes to us from a young man by the name of @Hey Nick Murphy.
Huh? Weird.
I'm not familiar with the nomenclature there, but
he's related.
I wonder if he knows our friend Dick Durfee.
Yeah.
At Hey Nick Murphy, who many of you watching the show probably know, is one of the co-hosts of the Continue Show and the Continue Cast, which you can subscribe to on Patreon.
Hey, thanks, Luke. Patreon.com/Continue Show.
Boom.
Do it.
Sponsored. Nick wants to know, how can we get more yards?
Oh man, that's a really good topical question for this week. What you want to do is pick people who get the most of them, is I think mine in fantasy terms, right? We need more yards.
But the way I assume he's talking about football, because this is a football podcast and he added us, but also knowing this Nick's sports knowledge.
Sure.
I'm not entirely unconvinced he hasn't confused yards with points.
That might be it. Well, I mean, sort of you get yards for points, but sort of, right?
Sort of.
I mean,
yeah.
Not really,
okay.
though.
I mean, in fantasy football, you do get points for yards. All right. Now, how do we get more yards, though? You can't make more yards. The field is what the field is.
Right. I know how. Galladay. There it is. It's been right with us the whole time. He's going for 3. Oh, no.
It loads.
It's not loading. There we go. All right. Woo. Oh, my God.
Wow. What a round of questions. Thank you for everybody that sent in your questions to this week at FFFF podcast #week2 Boogaloo.
There you go.
Love seeing your guys' questions. We're glad that you guys are having as much fun with this as we are.
Yeah.
Taking it seriously, but also having a little fun with it, because that's the kind of guys we are, and we're catering to you.
Yeah.
This show is for you. Whatever you want this show to be, that's what we're gonna make it. That's basically the gist of it. All right, now we're down to the final stretch here, Josh.
Okay.
We're gonna give our week 2 predictions, but before we give our week 2 predictions, let's take a look back at week 1 and see if we can remember who we predicted in week 1. I know for a fact we both picked tight end Zach Ertz.
We did.
Who had a very good game.
Good pick. We picked good.
We picked well. And spoilers, I'm going to pick Zach Ertz again this week.
Oh, no.
Specifically because Eric Berry is done for the season.
Ooh.
And I think Zach Ertz is going to be wide open quite a bit. A bit across the middle. Now, last week I picked wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
And while he didn't have the monster game of the week brought to you by Monster Ultra, he did have 7 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. The only touchdown Houston scored. So I'm going to say I was successful in that pick.
Yeah, good pick.
That makes up for my horrible pick of David Johnson, who we're just going to skip right over.
Yep, forget about it.
And I honestly don't remember who I picked for QB.
I do.
You
Not
do.
who you picked.
Oh, but you remember who you picked.
Who did you pick?
I don't remember who I picked for QB of the week last week. And I also didn't go back and look at last week's episode to find out, so it's going to remain a mystery.
Yeah,
it doesn't. So how about you? How did you do?
I picked Zach Ertz also. Obviously, you said that. We're great minds think alike. I picked Amari Cooper last week. He scored 1 touchdown, got 62 yards. Not bad.
All right, that's a win. I'm saying that's a good pick.
A win. Yeah, it's all right. Running back, I picked Christian McCaffrey. Why can't I say his name?
McCaffrey.
I don't know his stats. What's his stats last week? I don't know.
He had a couple catches and a couple rushing yards.
Okay.
But, they didn't have to do much, and they kicked a lot of field goals.
All right, so not so good. And QB, I picked David Carr.
Derek Carr. We got blasted for that a lot last week.
Did I say David Carr a lot?
You and I were both just calling him the former Houston Texans quarterback, David Carr.
Well, here's the thing, Carr family. Quit naming your kids D names. Give one of them a name like Jeff or something, for fuck's sake. Jeff Carr. It rolls right off the tongue, Mom and Dad Carr.
Oh man, I gotta go home and visit Grandpappy Carr.
Grandpappy Carr. All right, so who am I gonna pick this week?
Who are you gonna pick this week?
I'm gonna pick Tom Brady. I think he's gonna rebound.
Now hang on.
I know. Before I said I know. I picked Stafford. I think he's gonna rebound, and not. I don't know if he's. I don't know. I'm playing both sides of this coin right now.
Play him, baby. Play him.
Here's the thing. And the odds are Stafford's going to have a better week. But I think the chances are I'm betting all on red right now, or black, whichever one.
Okay.
I'm going Brady because he's mad and he gets real mad about stuff. Running back, I have him. I'm picking Dalvin Cook. I think he scores at least 1 touchdown. He gets his first touchdown. I don't know if he's going to run for 130 yards, but he might get 100. Again, looking good. Wide receiver going Jarvis Landry. The Hurricane isn't going to stop anybody. He's scoring some touchdowns from, what's his name? Old Smoking Ding Dong over there.
Smoking Jay Cutler.
Smoking Jay Cutler. 2 touchdowns to Jarvis Landry.
Wow.
And I'm going Greg Olsen this week because he didn't do shit last week. So he's got to get some points for me this week.
Okay. For quarterback, I'm going to cheat a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of did too. So
I'm going to cheat, and I'm picking Matt Ryan and Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh, I was going to pick Matt Ryan.
Because I think that game is going to be a straight-up gun show.
Yeah.
And those two are going to match each other beat for beat. So I think you can't go wrong with either of those guys.
That might be a great game.
At running back, I'm going to come back to running back because at wide receiver, I'm going to pick Julio Jones.
Okay.
He had an okay week this week, but he has destroyed the Packers.
Yeah.
Traditionally, and I think he makes up for week 1 before. Now I already picked Zach Ertz, so that means, running back. This is tough because I don't want to pick another big guy, but I'm going to go with my guy, and he's going to double down. He's going to be the second consecutive Monster Game of the Week sponsored by Monster Ultra Player of the Week, Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
He's going to destroy the Eagles.
Man, I know.
I think we are cruising for a bruising, my friend.
I might have to go visit my Nana during the game this week. It might be one of those weeks. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to watching this game beyond the fact
No.
that I didn't get to watch the Eagles game before and I want to watch an Eagles game.
Yeah.
But I think the Chiefs are going to march all over us.
I hope we're wrong, but I also believe this is going to be the timeline that we live in.
Yes. Oh god. What can you do? At least my fantasy team will probably win again.
Yeah, that's good, right? It's not as good as the Eagles winning, though.
No, it's not.
What if they win? What if the Eagles do win?
That would be amazing.
It would
as
be
long as
amazing.
also Kareem Hunt
Scores a
puts
lot
up
of
another
points.
200 points or whatever.
200, yeah.
200
Oh, man.
yards, you know what I mean? But
That would
no,
be
I think
crazy.
yeah, just like Zach Ertz is going to match up very well against the Chiefs defense, I think Hunt matches up really well against the Eagles defense, and it's going to be an interesting week. Week 2,
Yep.
baby. We're here. We gave you our advice. You gave us your questions. Let's do it again next week.
Let's do it every Wednesday.
What's going to be great is next week I'm actually going to be on vacation in the Outer Banks.
So you're going to be
So-
actually closer to me.
I may be a little tipsy doodle.
Oh, well,
On
if you're
the
getting
show.
drunk, I'm not going to be able to. Damn it.
I'm not going to get drunk. I just said I might be a little tipsy.
You're going to be
I'm
wasted.
going to be a little tip. I mean, especially if we record again at like 8:30 and it's after
Yeah.
dinner and I've had pretty much like 7 or 8 Jack and Gingers by that point.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're on vacation. I don't know about you, but when I go on vacation, drinking starts when I wake up.
I usually eat breakfast first.
Why?
I got to, man. You got to, because I
Sausage.
need to have a Monster Ultra, 0 calories, 0 sugar, ultra flavor to get my day started.
Mm.
Well, as always, I've been Luke Brown at mluke_brown on Twitter. He's been Josh Henderson at Henderson1983 on Twitter. You can follow us, this podcast, at FFFFF podcast on Twitter. And subscribe to us here on YouTube. The link is on our Twitter until we get an official Who's the Jew. But that's going to do it for this week. And good luck on your fantasy teams. Let us know how you're doing. And we will see you 1 week from today.
Bye.